So what we are going to do today is job evaluation as a part of internal equity, and we are going to do job grading method and point rating method. And the next session we'll be doing a little bit about the Hay guide method. Okay. So when we say job evaluation, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about it. Anybody who can tell me what you really understand by job evaluation? Anybody? Just understand job evaluation. Yeah, Seema seems to
And
know something about it. Yeah.
understanding the job worth, basically, just evaluating the particular job,
Okay,
understanding
you
the
are
value of that
very
particular job.
closer. So can I say understanding the job worth, or say the value of the job? Why do you want to know the worth or the value of the job? Because based on that, we will be paying the salary. So when we talk about job evaluation, it is all to do with base salary, guaranteed salary. All right? Base salary, guaranteed salary, which you have to pay month on month. So when we say job evaluation, it's a it's a very systematic process of determining the relative worth of the job. I used a word called relative worth of the job, not worth of the job, not in absolute terms, relative worth of the job. Now, in order to do job evaluation, you need to understand there are certain things which you need to do much before job evaluation. A, very important to have a job description in place. First of all, identify the jobs for which you want to do job evaluation. And if you want to do job evaluation, very important to have job description in place. What is a job description? Simple, no? Tell me what is a job description?
Ma'am,
Anybody here? Uh,
components of ma'am, like what job, KRAs and all those kind of
no,
things.
it's a document. It's a
The-
document.
It's a
Every
document
organization
stating
must have, typically, because it brings clarity also for that position or the role, who does the job. It is a document which gives you a summary and also a comprehensive details of what the job is supposed to be doing, performing, role, responsibilities, skill sets, everything. Got it? Okay. Now,
Yes,
having
ma'am.
said that, now what is the process you will use to get this job description? We typically use a process called job analysis. Now, for your kind information, and I want to bring clarity for all HR, and as you are also wanting to do comp and ben, there is a difference between job analysis and job evaluation. Is there a difference? Yes. Job analysis is a systematic process of what? Collecting information for documenting a JD.
Okay, ma'am.
But job evaluation starts after you have a job description in place. Is that very clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So don't mistake, job analysis and job evaluation are both one and the same. Okay. Please
Yes,
give
ma'am.
me a thumbs up for that, because there are two different concepts: job analysis, job evaluation. Because the outcome of job analysis is what? What is the outcome of job analysis?
That
job
we have a
description and
profile.
job specification.
JD. JD.
We
But
have a
the
JD.
outcome of job evaluation is the job worth, the value of the job. That's very clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, say for example, I won't go to the theory because you have everything there. I will give you, Vilma has sent you a lot of information. Now, for example, if Dhruva is given the task of doing 500 job descriptions, how will you go about? And how much time will you take? Tell me. You are working for a consulting company, Dhruva, and okay, you are given this task because we have to do compensation and say, okay, make 500 job descriptions, okay, of 500 positions, whatever. Okay. Now how will you go about? How
First, I
much
need
time?
to discuss time.
How much time will you take? Quick, quick.
Uh, Maybe it will take a year.
Oh my God, 1 year. Seema, how much time?
I mean, honestly, I won't go with the mechanism of having a discussion. I will refer an internet and like
Okay.
certain
Okay.
sites
Okay.
like Own It or whatever.
Nitin, how much time?
Ma'am, I'll not say time because I've never been into this kind of a job role, but but to be honest, I will be dividing this work into
Mhm.
categories like the departments, and will be giving it to the concerned recruiters, like
But
to find out.
all said and done, you don't know the validity, whether it will be comprehensive, whether you will get everything. But you are the head. You are accountable. The buck stops at you. You are the head and you are the accountable for all the JDs. So here is all the consultants do this, and let me tell you, very, very cost effective uh, way of doing it. Like Seema was mentioning, I think Seema was there earlier. So where is that? Mhm. Bonnet. I kept the bonnet there. Okay. Give me a minute. 1 second, guys. I actually opened the bonnet. So there is a very interesting method. You can actually use a own it. I opened something. So there is this website called Own It Online. Okay. And let me tell you, this website is a very, very useful website. It is free.
Okay.
And it has, say, like 2,500 to 3,000 job descriptions, everything in detail. So let us write out. There is something called occupation keyword search, right? Okay. Now I'm wanting to put what? Should I put a compensation analyst or should I put an HR manager? Tell me, quick,
HR
whatever
manager,
you want. Huh?
HR manager.
HR manager. Okay. So you have human resource manager here, right? I click
Okay.
on that. All right. Now, can you see it comes with a code? All right.
Mhm.
And this is the summary. Now, in this
Okay.
summary, if you see a list of tasks are given, serves as a link between management and employees by handling questions, interpreting. Then there are list of tasks. Then there is also what kind of skill sets, what kind of technologies he's supposed to be having, what kind of requirements, what kind of work activities, communicating with supervisors, peers, establishing and maintaining interpersonal relationship, resolving conflicts, then detailed work activities, then the context. Okay. Now, this is just a summary. I'm going to details, right? Now, can you see? Even in the task list, you have a set of tasks. Advises manager on organization policy matters such as equal employment opportunities, analyze and modify compensation and benefit policies, represent organization. So you have a list of tasks. Then you also have technology skills. Then you also have tools used for that. Now tell me, if I'm giving you this lead, you can actually put in any kind of a position and you will get a summary as well as a detailed list of your job description, which incorporates tasks, responsibilities, which are actually key responsibilities, and then the kind of skill sets, etc. Now, what will you do? Would you just use this as straight away your JD? If you ask me what I typically do, I, as a consultant, use this very often, find it very useful. Okay. So, whenever we are doing compensation or whenever we are doing competency mapping, etc., you need the job description, which is a basic document. So, what I do, I use the Google Drives. Okay. I send it to, I send this as an attachment to 5 or 6 key stakeholders and also to the supervisor, saying add or delete, or if you have any comments on a couple of things. Okay, simultaneously. In a day or two, I get back, you know, just with 3 or 4 things incorporating, say, okay, fine, these are some things which has to be added, or these are. So, what am I doing? I'm customizing it. So, it goes through 1 or 2 iterations. And then the final thing, I talk to the supervisor and then freeze it up and firm it up. And once it is done, then it is documented very well and signed by the both the supervisor and the subordinate. How much time? Even if there were 400 JDs, how much time do you think I will do it? There is nothing like cut, copy, paste, do this. Everything is happening simultaneously, right? So it takes not less than a week or 10 days. Okay. So all of you can use this whenever you are doing competency mapping, or for that matter, if you are doing a what? If you need job descriptions, because these are the basic documents every organization should have, and if you are doing especially a compensation job evaluation. Any questions here, guys? Any questions on this?
No,
None?
ma'am.
None. So you know how to use and how to go about. Okay. Next. So once
Ma'am,
you
ma'am, Mitali this side, sorry to cut you. So, ma'am, as a compensation and benefit manager, this will be our duty to rectify with the hiring manager regarding the JD, or it will be recruiting, that recruitment manager responsibility.
No, no. So I'm coming to that. So when you are doing this, is especially when you're doing job evaluation, what are we doing trying to do today? That to establish internal equity, that is how we pay jobs relatively within the organization. Every organization typically does job evaluation. That means what? Evaluating jobs for their worth. Now, when you want to evaluate jobs, the basic document you need is job description. Got it, Vitali? Okay.
Yes,
So
ma'am. Yes.
if you are spearheading, but let me also tell you, there is not a single person who will just do job evaluation. It is a group, it's a team, it's a committee, it's a compensation committee, right? Okay. So yes. So having said that the job description is very, very important, first of all, you will check the job descriptions, whether they are current. When I say current, what does it mean? That you are evaluating the job for what that role is doing currently. But say, for example, the job description is 10 years old and he is doing so many other things, and you have evaluated the job, and he'll come back and tell you that I'm doing much more than this. Agreed?
Right, ma'am. Yeah,
So you
right.
need to have current job descriptions. Now, having said that, your job description questionnaire, once again, should also incorporate now whatever job evaluation method you are doing. Are you with me? Because it should be a
Yes.
common standard format. You can't have a few positions, some format, few positions for some format. And then when you're doing a point method, I have to now look at decision making, or I have to look at skills used, or I have to look at problem solving, and you don't have content or data on that. Then how will you, put points or evaluate the job? Are you with me? So therefore, your job description format also should have in alignment, sync with what are some of the compensable. I will just be coming into that, the factors which it wants to identify. Because if you don't have the data, then how will your evaluation will not be strict. Are you with me? Okay.
Correct, ma'am. Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So do you want any more clarity on job analysis? It's all theory, so you can actually just go through it. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody want
Sure.
a little more clarity on job analysis? Please let me know. So typically, if I were to say, when you do job analysis, as we HR people, what do? We do questionnaire methods, send questionnaires, or observation, or keep logging in, which take a long time, right? But all this can be done after you use the ONET, and then you can quickly wrap up. Got it? Okay.
Madam, this after downloading this from the respective JD from the onet.online,
Mm.
now we have to send that copies to the immediate superior and also to the job holder, right?
You have to send it to the role holder or the job holder and 3 or 4 key critical stakeholders. When I say key critical
Okay.
stakeholders, who are recipient of their services. Say, for example, I am writing the job description of CHRO. Okay. Key stakeholders will be all the business heads, right?
Correct.
They will have
Yes.
certain expectations. Okay. So you'll also have to send this to the business head saying that, hey, what do you expect out of this role? Or say, for example, your own role, regional manager. You'll have to send it to other business people because you're interfacing with them. So what are their expectations out of you? So your job description also, their expectations form a key part of the job description. Got it?
Right. 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 Thank you.
Ultimately, what you deliver is not something what you wish to deliver.
Oh.
Is that so, or what the
Yes.
business wants?
No, of course, what the business wants or the business
Yeah. So therefore, your job, so
wants
your role depends
translated to
on
the HR
what
department.
exactly what your expectations are, and also what are the other departments whom you actually interface with, their expectations. Okay. And then, of course, you can derive skill sets, competencies, everything required for that. Got it? Okay.
Yes.
We move on, guys. Huh? Now, having said that, so all this, what a job description has, duties, everything I've already spoken about. Now, when we talk about you have now the job description, now we are wanting to do job evaluation. So first, understand a job evaluation is a systematic process of determining the worth of the job in relation to the other jobs. Okay, in relation to the other jobs. Because by that you can design your pay grades, your pay ranges, everything. Now there are a couple of methods with which you can do ranking. Now, if you notice here, you can see something called ranking method. A very, very simple method which we are not going to do. You can actually read it. Wilma has given you material. Ranking is like stacking. What you do, there are 10 jobs. So what will happen? All the compensation committee or the business heads will take all those 10 job descriptions, and then going by their own knowledge of understanding the job as well as the organization, they will do a ranking method. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So the entire process is written there. Today, what we are actually going to do is two methods: job grading method and point method. So when we say job grading method, what does it mean? Say, for example, you have 20 jobs or 30 jobs in your organization. By the way, when I say 30 jobs or 20 jobs, or there might be, like say, for example, there is a position called HR manager. There could be 4 or 5 people working in that role, right? But the position is one then. Like, for example, compensation analyst. There could be 10 compensation analysts in your organization, but then you are evaluating that job as such. You are not evaluating our person who's working in Chicago, not the person. When you are saying job evaluation, please be very, very clear. You are evaluating the role, the position, not the person. Got it? We are not evaluating Dhruva. We are not evaluating Suleiman Khan. So we are evaluating the job or the position. I hope that is very, very clear, guys. Please. Now, when we think job grading, there's a very interesting concept which comes into play. Whenever you want to evaluate this word, compensable factors. Have you heard of this word, compensable factors?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sure a lot of. So I have to be very clear about when I'm doing job evaluation. First of all, identify compensable factors. A, you have to understand that what are compensable factors? Factors for which you want to pay compensation. Typically, what comes to your mind? For which factor will you pay compensation? Quick, guys. I don't want you to sleep.
Like skills, then experience, then like creativity also. What exactly we
Yes.
need to complete? Yes.
So,
Skills
first, let
and
me give you an
compatibility.
understanding. Compensable factors are specific characteristics, okay, or the criteria which you use for job evaluation to determine the relative worth of the job. And these are very, very essential to assess the value of a job. So first, let me give you an understanding of typically a generic compensable factors, like Mitali also said: skill, education level, right? Experience, Higher the experience, higher the salary. Lower the experience, lower the salary. Responsibility, higher responsibilities, higher salary. Accountability, right? Accountability could also be for dollar worth. Somebody accountable for so much of budget, somebody accountable for lesser budget. Complexity of work, because that role must be very complex. At a lower level, the work is a little less complex, but at a higher role, it is complex, much more complex. That's why you pay higher salaries. Then creativity, innovation, supervision, leadership. Are you with me, guys? Huh? Abhijit?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Compensable factors, working conditions, then impact on organizational goals. You know, higher the job, it will have higher impact on organizational goal. Lower the job, lower impact on organizational goals. Decision making, higher decision making levels. So you have higher autonomy, total autonomy to make a decisions. So they'll be paid higher, or even customers, the kind of customer interactions. Then you can have market conditions also, like market conditions, what supply and demand of talent, right? So sometimes maybe you will have to that also becomes a very important part. Then regulatory compliances, then team collaboration. So these are some of the compensable factors. So these are generic. Now you may say, now when you're doing, so we'll talk about job grading. So when we are doing job grading, we have to identify compensable factors. Now, from where will you derive them? Every organization will have its own compensable factors, which are derived from strategy, which are derived from what is their market strategy, business strategy, etc. You can't say because that company is also into same industry, so I will use those compensable factors. Okay, so compensable factors are determined by the context of the organization. Say, for example, Toyota. What do you think is one of its values, or huh? Toyota is known for what? Huh? Operational excellence. Amazon, we'll take Amazon. Amazon is known for what, Nathan?
Ma'am, we
Delivery
have a
on
lot of
time.
No, yeah, one of the values like operational excellence, right?
yes, ma'am.
Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Efficiencies, right?
Efficiency. Yes,
So
ma'am.
what
Yes, ma'am.
happens? I might give that will become one of my key compensable factor. So they're derived from strategy, okay? They're derived from values. That means I want to Google. It pays for creativity. It pays for innovation. Okay, it pays for certain knowledge. For example, the kind of Walmart, supply chain management. So high, it actually what is it, relies a lot on supply chain management. So their entire efficiency depends on that logistics and distribution and supply chain management. How do they actually ensure, because they don't make the products like Amazon, they don't make the products, right? So how do they source, how do they do that? So what happens then? I need those kind of what is it, characteristics. Then I will say, hey, these are my compensable factors. This is what I will pay for. Maybe some R&D, product knowledge becomes very high. Are you with me? Now, when
Yes,
we're doing
ma'am.
job grading, guys, you won't be doing job grading. You will be doing point method. But nevertheless, I'm going to show you how we do. I'm only going to do because we don't have the time. You will be only doing the point method. So I'm going to show you an example. Okay. Say, for example, I have an organization wherein I have, going by their strategy, etc., I've selected 4 compensable factors. So what are the 4 compensable factors? Can you see, or should I make it a little bigger? So
No,
what are the
It's
4
okay, ma'am.
it can be
huh?
visible.
We can
What are
see.
the four compensable factors here? For an
Education,
organization,
experience,
which is education, experience, span of control, creativity. This is an
creativity.
Creativity.
IT. So this is an organization which belongs to an ITES and AFSET. Okay, then I have determined. First, identify compensable factors. Second step, I have determined that, hey, I'm going by 5 grades. I want to have 5 grades. What method are we doing, please? We are doing job grading. What are we doing? Job grading.
Job grading.
That means I have in my organization, say 20 positions, 30 positions. Now I want to segregate them or put them into certain grades so that I can create a salary structure and pay them accordingly. Got it? Huh? Okay.
Got it, ma'am.
So job
Yes, ma'am.
grading is, so I will determine the grades. How many grades I have? 5 grades. Now
5 grades.
I have to write, that is step 2. Step 1,
Okay.
compensable factors. Step 2,
Compensable factors.
5 grades. Now, step 3, I have to write, these are
Grading.
called
Right.
descriptors.
Descriptors.
Descriptors means what is that I need at grade 1 in education? What is that I need in grade 1 in experience, span of control, and creativity? And if you don't write those descriptors, how will you then evaluate the job and then put them into those grades? You can't do. Got it? So what do? We will look at the job description. Then we will look what is the education required, what is the experience required for the job. Now that's why I said in my job description, if I don't factor in education, experience, span of control,
Mm.
creativity, then when I do job evaluation, how will I be able to then evaluate and put the job into map it into grade 1, grade 2, grade 3? I won't be able to do it. So it's very, very important that you ensure that your job description format, especially for your job evaluation, should have a job evaluation questionnaire wherein you actually have then all these criteria factored in. Okay? Yeah. Having said that, I will write descriptors. Okay. For example, span of control at a grade 1, he's just an IC role. Then at grade 2, just small team. Then at grade 3, he has about 15 to 20 people to
Medium
manage.
team.
Okay. And then a larger
Yes,
team.
ma'am.
All right.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
having done that, then what will I do? I will then put all my, say, for example, I have, say, about 15 positions or 20 positions. When I say 20 positions, that means, oh my God, I'm so sorry. That means I have 20 job descriptions. So I will do what? Called clustering. Once I have put all my jobs where under this, if I put these jobs under this, under this, under this, under this, under this, then I do, say for example, I have taken here just for a sample, I've just taken what? 8 jobs here. What are those jobs? Engineer, finance executive, HR
Finance
executive,
executive, HR
production
executive,
executive, store
production.
assistant, HR manager, finance manager, and senior store assistant. So these are all positions for which we have done actually job evaluation and we are doing job grading. Okay. So these are all these 8 jobs and I have put them after job grading into what grades? 1, this was 2, this is 2, this is 3, 3, 2. Got it? Got it? So what is
Yes,
this
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
analysis called? Cluster analysis. Okay. Now,
Okay.
Madam,
when I
this
do job,
grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, what is this?
so when I have done job evaluation, say for example, I have a job like production executive. Okay.
Okay, okay.
I went through the production executive. I evaluated the job description. I put it under grade 1 here. How did I do that? I looked at all the compensable factors and they actually are comparable with the grade 1 descriptors.
Okay, okay, okay. Right.
Are you with me, all of you? All of you?
Yes,
Huh?
ma'am.
Okay. Now, say for example, there is a job called HR manager. All the descriptors are comparable with
Grade 3.
grade 3. So that's how I have arrived at this. And these are all positions for a particular case we have done. So I just took that as a case study. Okay. Now, when I'm doing a job evaluation, I will do job evaluation based on, I will use a job evaluation method. Here it is job grading. And I have done the grading, job grading. But how will I design a salary? I will then look at market data. But how to get market data is the next session. So today, please be happy and be satisfied with just the market data. But I don't want to get into how well I get it, because I'm going to teach you that in the next session. Okay. So what is typically market data? That means in the market, for an engineer, typically for a similar industry, how much am I paying? How much is the market paying? Got it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
HR executive, how much are they paying? Say, for example, if I say market data, Nitin is in a payroll in Amazon, whatever role. Okay. Then I will say, hey, for a similar role, how much is the market paying? That's called market data.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you all with me, guys? Please give me a thumbs up because it's a little technical. Hmm?
Yes.
Okay. So
But
once you have
madam,
got
the
the
industry to industry, the same role it may vary. In HR executive role in the Amazon, that salary may vary with the HR executive role in, suppose, in Dabur India Limited. Now, how to bridge that gap?
So, in my next session, I will give you much more detail. You will have to compare apples to apples. So, if I are a payroll person and I am comparing my salary, if I'm working in Amazon, you have to compare it with a similar organization. Are you with me? With the similar organization, industry of a similar size and scope. You can't say that your company is 500 crores and I'm comparing my job with a company which is 5,000 crores. Okay, that's A.
Yes, ma'am.
Sometimes you can also compare saying that, hey, see, I'm a payroll guy, okay, but this industry is paying this kind of a salary. This is a market benchmark, okay, but another industry is paying a little more. Like, for example, the payroll guy in a manufacturing organization might be paid, say, about a 65th percentile. Means that will be the salary, okay, but maybe in an IT organization, they will pay at an 80th percentile because that's where they are actually pitching it. Maybe Google will pay higher.
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
I agree. Because every organization, A, industry, size, and also there is something called what we talk about. I will talk in the marketing in the next session, value discipline. I may be in a discipline called operational excellence, where my business model is that I will take 60 to 80% of the people with less salaries, average salaries, because my jobs don't need creativity innovation. They only need more efficiency. They are SOPs like
Libris work.
Walmart, Amazon, etc.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
if I'm saying I'm a product leadership company like Google, Microsoft, where I have to create products, I need bright people because my products depend on my people. So I can't take monkeys and then make them do very good products. So I have to take really good people, right? Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
So good people won't come cheap, no? Huh? Huh? It's a different matter that I mean, if you pay peanuts, you'll get monkeys. But sometimes what happens, you can pay huge money, but you'll also get gorillas. Huh? They're also there in the organization. Then they'll say, hey, we paid so much salary for this guy, yeah, but he is good for nothing. Okay, that's the story. Hey, Dhruv, are you with me? So, we will look at that aspect as well. Okay. So,
Okay,
market salary, just limit yourself to saying, hey, this is market data. But how to do it and what is the percentile, I will explain in detail and help you with it. Now, what do you do? Market data. Simple. What do you have to do? You have to design a salary, structure. So, can you see? There's something called I'm doing cluster analysis. What have I done? I have selected the data. Okay. Step 1. Step 2, I've gone to insert. I've clicked on insert. Step 3, I'm going to the chart. All right. And then I'm selecting a scatter. Then after that,
Oh.
I'm trying to click it on that any job position and I'm doing a right click. Then I said add trend line. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, once I have added the trend line, you will see that at grade 1, there are 3 positions. Grade 2, there are 3 positions. Grade 3 also, there are 3 positions. Got it? So typically when you have to design your salary as per the market means, so the lowest position will become your min for grade 1, and the highest position that is here, that will become your max. Because what is salary range means, which I'll explain again in the next session. Range means it's a salary which has min and a max. Are you with me? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
So the
Yes.
range is 18,000 to 20,000. Simple. This is the min and this is the max. My cursor can show you. Again, for this, what will you do? Grade 2, what will be the min and max? Quick.
20,
Somebody.
2030.
Yes,
2030.
2030. And grade 3?
50, 70.
Yeah.
60.
60,
Okay.
sorry.
50,
Yeah.
60.
50,
Now,
60.
now, what I can do, once I have established the grades, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 with min and max, you will see that after 20, here in the grade 2, after 30, it is suddenly going to 50,000, right? Huh?
Right, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
The sample, I've taken a few positions, or maybe today it's a startup and I don't have position. Maybe tomorrow I'll have position. So I need to have a subgrade. I can create a subgrade here, say 30 to
50.
okay. Are you okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? So typically when you're designing grades, you have to do what? Some mechanical iterations. That means looking at your data again, you have to then fine tune them into those grades. Because I may have data, I may have those positions, I may not have them today, but for later on, I may have a position from 30,000 to 50,000. Okay, this is how in job grading you design through cluster. What did I do? This is called cluster analysis. I'll send you this bit also for all of you. So, cluster analysis. What is this called? Cluster analysis. And
Madam, any rationale is to be followed for this 30,000 to 50,000 bracket, or it is just a mere notional thing that if
no,
there is
where
a
is it? No, Dhruv, it is not notional. I'm taking the maximum of this band, 30,000, and inserting at the beginning of the minimum of another higher grade
okay,
and
okay,
creating a sub band. I
okay,
can say grade 2A, grade 2B.
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
okay.
Got it? Now, when I
Yes.
talk about job grading, I can have broadbanding. I can have, what is the other brand? Typically, have you heard of this word called broadbanding?
No,
No?
no, ma'am.
Anybody else?
No, ma'am. No.
No?
I've
Is
linked
it
it with
employer
a
branding related?
Huh?
Ma'am, is it employer branding related? Nothing?
It
no.
is not employer branding and it's not employee branding. Okay. This in a compensation we call broad banding, and you
Oh,
have to understand narrow banding. Now, what are they? For your understanding, I'm going to send you 2-3 documents on this also. Simply said, anybody who has worked in manufacturing organizations and even in L&T, public sector, you will have at least 20 to 25
yes, ma'am. I
hierarchies,
got it.
25
Yes.
bands. What is
Yes, ma'am.
it? Manager, huh? Then you will have a deputy manager, the assistant manager before you become the manager. Then again, you will have only titler, but there won't be actually a differentiation of content what he does. There are so many levels, right?
Yes. Hierarchy. Yeah.
हाँ every 2 years 3 years public sector वाला को ऊपर पहुंचाएंगे एक और लेवल right
Ma'am,
हाँ
I have a
हाँ
doubt here. Like, so I know like how public sector, so they keep on getting appraisal, like, within a single band, they have multiple salary. which they are getting every year. And once they reach to one specific salary, their band changes, like, from grade
Tell
pay
you that.
3200 to they will shift to 3800,
Yeah.
something like that.
So one is simple, just narrow band. When I say narrow band, what does it mean? Can you see my cursor here? That
Yes, yes.
means
Yes, ma'am.
the width
Yes.
or the difference between min and max is very small. The difference between the minimum and maximum of that particular range is very small. So when I
Okay.
say very small, what does it mean? That means that person can afford to stay there, get maybe 3 increments or maybe 2 increments. Only tenurity can be 2 to 3 years. And then again, he will be shifted to another band. Okay? And then again, he'll be shifted to another band. Typically, organizations which have lot of rigidity, no flexibility, there is a huge command and control kind of a thing. Okay? There's not much to do. Typically, the job does not change much. So you have, what is it called? Narrow band. Like most of the public sectors, you have that.
No, we are also having this 43 bands, 43
Mm.
heads of.
No, so that is one aspect. Now, I will come to Nitin. You mentioned that, but just park that. Then there is broadband. Most of the IT organizations, traditionally you had only narrow banding. Why? Market was not dynamic. It did not need what? Responsiveness immediately. Okay. The sales guy will say, itna discount, only then will, acha, mujhe regional manager se puchna padega. Then it will go up, bottom up, then it will come down. So much of time. But today, the market dynamics have changed. There's so much of competition. Huh? Like, say, for example, if you are going to a hotel, the frontline man is empowered with certain amount of what considerations in terms of taking a decision, how much of discount he can give. Agreed? Huh?
Yes, yes.
So what does it mean? In broadbanding, you are making people accountable. You are empowering people and reducing the number of these bands. Okay? So that people take charge of themselves. Because today, what is it very important if your organizations have to survive and ensure there is competitive advantage? A, speed, response time. B, cost efficiencies. Now, you cannot operate in large number of people with high wage cost. You want efficient people who operate immediately with good response time. Okay, efficient people. So today you are empowering and you are having lesser levels. So now what is happening? Say, for example, I will collapse 3 sub-bands into one band. Are you getting me, Nitin?
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody was mentioning, no? So all these three bands have collapsed into what? What did I make? One band,
Got it, ma'am.
broadband. Under this broadband one, I have 3 sub-bands. Okay? Under this band, all of them will have similar benefits, maybe, but different kind of salaries, etc. But in this band, by and large, they will have similar benefits, etc. But once you shift to another band, then there'll be another different salaries, all right? And another different benefits. So organizations have started doing what? Broadbanding, so that people are empowered, people response time has become lesser, and ability to be very agile. So when I say broadband, the difference between min and max is 150%, 200. I can have at the minimum level a sales guy and another level, another in the same range, I can fit in many people. Say, for example, I have sales people, I have marketing people, no, I have support people, etc. in broadband one. So the marketing guy comes and says, hey, the kind of salary we are giving, we are not getting good people. Then say, okay, fine, in the same band, I will give a higher salary. It's possible. But in a narrow band, I have to actually elevate the band. But here I don't have to. So promotions and all that happen only when there is a significant change in the role, significant change in the need for different kind of competencies. Are you with me, guys?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Is this very clear? Narrow band and broadband? We
Yes.
get
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
Huh? There's my
Kindly share, ma'am, these topics, some write-up so that we can.
Sure. There's plenty of write-up you can read. Okay. Now, once I have decided on my grades, what will I do? I can then have all my benefits, reimbursements, mobile, traveling allowance, etc. As per the grades, what are they eligible? Got it? Got it? Once I decide on my grades and their ranges, I can also then have all my reimbursements, all my travel, etc. That this grade one, he's eligible for this for mobile, he's eligible for travel in terms of maybe an AC car, and grade 3, he can go by flight, and this is the limit. So I can have all my policies around that. Clear, guys? Any questions? Because what we will do now is we'll take a very small break, because we will come back to point plan, which is a little more needs, I won't say tough, because if I say tough, then you'll begin to say, oh, it's going to be very tough, which you are going to do then. Okay. Point plan will use some statistical, their regression and all. I will teach you first. So we can take a short break. But before that break, any doubts, any clarifications, because then we are going to start point plan. Any doubts, any clarifications? Please go ahead. Nothing?
A broadbanding concept is little bit, particularly the broadbanding, when you are collapsing the entire range, that is something little bit tricky.
Okay. What I can do best is I will send out some very interesting, very simple to understand broadbanding documents, even on this job grading, so that you read them. But if you have any doubts, you can always then get back to me on session 3. So any clarifications, guys, on job grading?
Ma'am, it's clear for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
So typically when you do job grading, like if you have a lot of positions, then what you will do, you will be mapping them, deciding on how many grades you have determined, like this. Like, under grade 1, these are the positions. Under grade 2, these are the positions. Under grade 3, assistant manager, chair manager, these are. So you can actually then map them. When you have, a list of positions, and after job grading, you can map them to these various grades. Step 1, identifying compensable factors. Step 2, you tell me what you do then. Step 2,
Cluster analysis.
Step is grading.
determine your number of grades what you want, right? Huh?
Okay.
Then write the descriptors for them. Then you do the job evaluation using a job description, correct? Okay, that is called job grading, where you are actually determining the number of grades, writing descriptors, and the number of positions you have. You are taking those job descriptions and evaluating them, and then mapping them to the respective grades. And then you design doing a cluster analysis, you then design the salary structure, taking market data. The next method, which you will be actually be required to do as a breakout activity. So I want you to be really very alert and look at this process. We are going to do, so job grading is a qualitative method. Okay, it's a qualitative method. And we are going to do a quantitative method, which is called a point plan, a Hay method, a Mercer method, a Hewitt method. So most of them are all quantitative methods which go by the point plan, which have their genesis with the Hay method. Now, when I say point plan, what does it mean? You are assigning points or numerical value to a position. Are you with me? You are evaluating and assigning numerical value. So thereby, what is the advantage when you are doing a numerical value? Seema? I asked you because
I
you are
think
a little more
you're
experienced than
quantifying
others.
it.
Huh? Pardon?
I think you're quantifying it basically.
So when we are quantifying, what is the advantage? It becomes objective. Say if an HR manager is 400 points and there is another compensation analyst which is just 100 points, it clearly states that a job with 100 points is a job which is lower than the 400-point job. So you will have to pay obviously lesser than the job. It also helps you in terms of 400 and 100. So the difference is 300. Higher the difference, obviously higher the job. But say, for example, HR manager job is 400 and senior HR manager job is 450. Okay. So HR manager is getting 10 lakhs and the senior manager is getting 20 lakhs. Now tell me, how will you feel?
Not good, ma'am.
No.
Not
Can you
justified.
now? Huh?
Not justified.
Unjustified, ma'am.
So why? Because you are clearly seeing that, hey, this job has been evaluated at 400 points and this senior job has been evaluated at 450 points. That means there's only a difference of 50 points. So obviously it has to be relative, proportionate to that. But the salary does not showcase that. So thereby you can clearly see. Got it? So that's why a point plan method is preferable because it becomes very objective and you can clearly say when there is a numerical value attached to all these jobs. Okay, guys? Okay,
This
let's
method
go
can
ahead
be
and see. Pardon?
this. I'm telling this method can be useful when any organization is doing any kind of say market correction exercise.
Yeah, no,
Salary
you can
correction
go
exercise.
after you do this, you can go back and do this job evaluation in your own organization. I'll also help you to say how much of differences you can see, etc. Okay, it's an excellent method. You will be able to appreciate it when you actually see the entire thing and do it yourself.
Sure.
It's amazing. I mean, it's like if somebody as a trekker, mountain trekker, if I've reached the Everest, how will you feel? You'll be on the top of the world saying that, Arey, maine to Everest. It's like that. In a compensation person knows point plan, it's a great feeling. Okay. Let's see what it is. Okay.
Just
Now,
one
when
more
you
question.
pardon?
Can we kind of, I mean, once we kind of run through this point plan, we can do something on the similar lines for the startup as well, who doesn't have any base of the compensation from that perspective?
Yes, Siva.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll tell you. Okay. Now, how will it look like? When you do point plan, you will actually derive points like this. I'm just showing, first of all, how points. Senior compensation analyst, 414 points. Manager accounting, 691 points. Senior manager advertising, 764 points. So after the point plan, you will actually arrive at points, total points for your positions. Okay? That what is the total point for your each and every position. Now, how do you go about it? It has a process. Okay, what is the process? Again, this process begins with what? Step 1. Compensable factors. It begins with step 1. Can you all see my slide? Screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes.
Please see it very carefully. Step 1. Identify compensable factors. And for simplicity, for common understanding, I've kept the same compensable factors. What are they? Education, work X, span of control, and creativity. These are my compensable factors. This is step 1. Now, the difference between job grading and job point plan. The number of compensable factors in job grading should not be more than 5 or 6, for the fact that when you go back, because there is an assignment for you, when you go back and do that as a homework, you will find that it becomes very difficult, because then you will begin to feel, to differentiate grade 1, what do I keep, grade 2, what I keep. So you can have any number of grades, but the number of compensable factors should be just about 5 to 6. In point plan, you can have any number of, at least 8 to 10, you can have compensable factors. Okay. Now, now after that, the commonality ends. There is no commonality. Step 2, you have to then determine how many levels, what we typically call it as, please write it if you want, just like that, degrees of differentiation we call. Typically, if you read a book on job evaluation point plan, it will say degrees of differentiation. Now you may say, hey, what is this degree of differentiation? I'll simplify it for you. It is only what? Level of complexity. Level of complexity. Where your degree 1 will be the lowest complexity and degree, whatever degree you have, will be the highest complexity. Now, this degree of differentiation will depend on what is the complexity of your organization and also of that compensable factor. Okay, if your organization is a very complex organization, lot of complexities, then obviously you will have more number of degrees. But if it is a very simple process, simple operations, you will have lesser degrees. So degree 1 will be lower levels, and as you keep progressing, higher levels. So this is called degree of differentiation. Here, how many degrees have I kept?
4.
4 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means what? Degree 1 is lower, degree 2 a little higher, degree 3. What does it mean? Education. When I say degree 1, the lowest level of complexity. Yeah, I think I'll just come to you. And degree 4 will be the highest. Okay, yeah. Somebody said yes, some. Any clarification here? Please. Can I proceed?
The
Because you will
compensable
have
factors, madam, compensable factors for the
Yes, ma'am. Grading.
point plan should be 8 to 9.
Yeah, you can 8 to 9. 8. And don't have too many because what happens is if you have too many, like a 10 to 15, 10 to 12, it becomes very, very difficult for you to manage. Okay. I would always recommend between 6, 7, 5 to 6 or 8. 8 also is the limit, highest. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Now, degrees of differentiation is what? I told you. Now, what is degree of differentiation? I also told you that means the complexity. For example, what will be the descriptor? Degree 1, education will be just ITI. Degree 2, engineer. Degree 3, engineer, some certifications, etc. Degree 4, post-graduation. So please ensure that when you are writing descriptor, you'll have to do this now. That at every degree, the descriptor should not be the same as the previous degree because you are going to assign value. So if it is the same, degree 1 will be 20 points, degree 2 will be 40 points. Then if the descriptor is the same and when you are evaluating, you won't have accuracy in your job evaluation. Are you with me? So here, when you are writing a descriptor, you have to be cautious and take a note of that there should be a differentiation in the descriptor of degree 1 and degree 2. So if you can notice creativity, I've written degree 1 is low, here it is medium, high, medium to high. Understood? Can I go ahead? Okay.
Yes.
Step 3. In any organization, not all the compensable factors will have the same weightage. Correct? For example, if I'm working in a Google, I might say, hey, for me, creativity, innovation is of a higher weightage, right? Product knowledge, maybe if I have and problem solving, higher weightage, right? So, for example, in Amazon, I might say operation and excellence of higher weightage. Or maybe if I'm in a design company, product leadership, we'll say again, design of a higher weightage. Guys, are you with me?
Right. Right.
So what does it mean? Step 3, quick. So that you don't sleep, I'm all the time.
Ma'am, I have a question. I'm
Assigning
sorry.
weightage.
Assigning weightage, yeah.
So I also want to create, I want to bring clarity saying that when I say degree, it doesn't mean academic qualification. So mind you. Okay. So please don't understand this as a degree, which is an academic qualification. No, degree is in relation to these compensable factors, to what level of complexity. Got it?
Ma'am, am
Or
I audible?
can am I audible, please? Am I
Ma'am, am I
audible?
audible?
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am, I
Nitin
have a
raised
question.
a
I'm so
hand.
sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
I've been
Nitin raised a
asking,
hand.
I don't know whether I was audible or not. I've been asking this. Okay, so first of all, ma'am, when we talk about degree, is it equivalent to grading? Like when we graded one, like the
No.
after
So,
compensable factor.
yeah, very good you asked me. So, degree, I wanted clarification because I saw a message also. Degree is not a academic qualification. It is the intensity of that compensable factor at 1, at 2, at 3, and 4. Why? For example, decision making I have written as a compensable factor. The intensity of decision making, that compensable factor required at a low level job, uh, say for example, at a TL, team leader, is much low. I will say, okay, maybe at a degree 1, but at a AGM level, it might be at a degree 4.
But that is equivalent to, ma'am, grading as well. Like when we grade somebody, like let's say AGM will be graded as 3, or a deputy general manager will be graded as 4. So
Let me stop you here. So I want to know from you, what is that understanding you have when you say I have, that also is like grading. What does that mean to you?
so like you
What
have
grade?
like you have put here degrees, right? Degree 1, degree 2, degree 3. Before this,
Uh-huh.
you showed us where you was showing grading, right? After compulsory factor, we were putting grades,
Are you
grade
talking
1,
about
grade
this?
2. Yes, ma'am.
So I said, now please forget about job grading method.
Okay.
So when I'm doing point plan method, I will only take
Degrees.
job as my focus. Job.
Okay.
I'm not looking at whether this job is in grade 1 or grade 2 or grade 3. No. I'm taking HR manager and evaluating this job and evaluating points for that. After that, I'll put them into grades. But
Okay, ma'am.
here, you are doing grading
Okay.
first. Now, this method, you have to unlock that and do not relate it to, hey, but this job was in grade 3. No. So we will do that afterwards. We will put this
Okay.
job into grading afterwards.
I have one more question, ma'am.
Yeah.
Now, when you were talking about the weightage, because I can
I
see the
didn't come
screen,
to
it show.
weightage. I'm just teaching you.
Okay.
I was just
Okay.
telling.
Okay.
Huh?
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
So step 3 is what? Step 1 you heard, step 2 you heard. Step 3, weightage is what? That means prioritizing. To which should I give higher weightage and to which compensable factor should I give? Because not all compensable factors will be of equal weightage in an organization, right? I might need a certain one much more. Are you with me? For example, all these 4. A startup might need, if you have written certain compensable factors, I might need more of that experience, more of product knowledge. Got it? It depends on industry to industry, and also it depends on the life cycle of the organization, right? So the weightages are not common or something like a benchmark for everything. You may just generally for your knowledge, but weightages are in the context of that organization. So you have to say, okay, fine, here. So here, if you see, I have given education 20%, work X also 20, span of control 25. So because maybe this is my organization which is designing maps like Google, etc. So I've said 35. Okay. And Nitin, you raised your hand. Yeah, please tell me.
Ma'am, I'm now taking example for SEMA. So SEMA is going for an entrepreneurial, starting a business. So how these weightage has been calculated? Like you said, definitely it depends on company to company. Their weightage will be different. But how they are, coming up to this
What
particular point?
is your question saying that what is the criteria or what is the basis on which
Yes,
I will need to then give weightages? Okay.
yes, ma'am. Like
Is
for
that the
SEMA. So
question
now
you're asking me? Huh?
yes.
Criteria or basis for giving weightages? Yes. So the criteria or basis is A, what are my compensable compensable factors. That is understood? For a startup, what are those, whether it's an industry of R&D, whatever. So what are my compensable factors? 4 or 5 compensable factors. Got it? That step 1 is understood? Yes, no? Please tell me yes, no. Identifying compensable factors. Quick.
Yes, ma'am. Compensable
Yes.
factors are okay.
After having understood A, B, C, whatever those compensable factors are, 4 compensable factors or 5 compensable factors, now the compensation committee will come together along with all the businesses, etc., and say, hey, because the weightage of all the 4 or 5 number of compensable factors should be 100. When I say weightage, 100%.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct? Hmm? So then they say, hey, but for our organization, no, this is a startup. So we have to have a lot of our workforce, having this what innovation, because they have to do a lot of being innovative and creative. So maybe I will give a higher percentage to that compensable factor. Okay. We want, this is a startup, experienced people, because they have to set up systems, processes, etc. So experience also I will give higher weightage, right? But no compensable factor should you be giving like 50%, because you don't want to have putting all your eggs in one basket, right? If you have about 4 or 5 compensable factors, one is you should not have more than 50% giving to one compensable factor only. Okay. Now what we will say, okay, fine, then education, maybe 10-15%, or I'm taking youngsters 15%. Right? Then span of control. So depending on whatever compensable factors, the criteria or the basis would be everybody coming together and say, hey, what is that 1 or 2 compensable factors which are the driving forces for achieving my business results? Are you with me? For example, again, I'll go back to your own company, Amazon or a Walmart, which is into operational excellence. See, I need people, who are very efficient, right? Who are, increasing productivity, etc., etc. So what is that? That means I need people who are what? What kind of people do I need? So what could be one compensable factor which I'll be looking at, which I can have, at least for the 60%, 70% of the people.
Operational efficiency.
Hmm? Maybe product
Operational
knowledge, right? Right? Because if you have to have standard operating processes, you definitely have to have an understanding of product knowledge. Definitely education will be there. So that's the way you will actually sit together and then, what is it? Give weightages. Nitin, have I made sense to you? Are you able to get it? Hmm?
Ma'am, I still have doubt with weightage actually. All the things are compensable factors is clear, degree
Yeah, yeah.
differentiation is
Huh.
clear,
But
but how are we calculating the weightage? Like, let's say you have put in here 20, how that 20 mark has come here? Because
Mm, Nitin,
because
can I
we,
add something? Sorry, Seema
Yeah.
here.
ah,
So,
okay.
just to give you a very, and ma'am, you can just correct me if I'm going completely wrong, okay?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
way
yeah.
just to compare it and contrast and give you an idea, just to take an example of an HR manager and a comp and ben analyst, okay? When you do set a objectives also, the compensation, the numerical ability gives more weightage because the person cannot go wrong when they do calculation of a data, right? Versus the HR business and business partnering or the recruitment, if it's a part of their objective comes, it has to be little weightage, right? Because the person is dealing only with the payroll data, and also the accuracy matters a lot, but his involvement to team development or something could be relatively lesser. You decided based on the role the person is holding. Same thing goes for the HR manager. He might have
So,
a
so
weightage
one
in.
here, no. Oh, I'm so sorry, Seema. Yeah, good you came up with this. So when we are deciding on compensable factors, typically what happens is you don't determine compensable factors for department wise or position wise. They are typically done across the organizations. So therefore, my first slide when I showed you that typically across the organization, which are common, not very specific to that department or to that role. Got it? So they are more, common across the organization. Now, you will appreciate it when I'm generally calculating the point values. So I can understand Nitin's, this ability to grasp how am I going to do weightages. Probably I will give you a very statistical model, but I think let us just continue with this, and then I will send across that statistical model of saying that, hey, how do we actually, what is the basis or what is the criteria of giving weightages? Okay, Nitin? Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I know when you don't do these things, I'm sure, and it's very good that you have the benefit of doubt, and I will definitely, give you that help. Okay, but let us just because I want you all to do this, and we have a lot to work on this. All right. So having said that, so here I have given based on this creativity is the highest. Now, how do you then assign numerical values or points? So we are doing a linear regression. So when we do linear regression, what all that we need to do, this is a little mathematical here. Once you have developed this template, weightages, degrees, all that you need to do is multiply 20 with this one, 20. Multiply 20 with this 2, 40. Multiply 20 with this 3, 60. So if you see 35 into 1, 35, 70, 105. So you are then populating your point plan here. So you can see that in degree 1, if you add up all this, it will be 100, 200, 300, and 400. So it is a 400 point plan. Okay? Is this very clear? You
So
can have a
we are multiplying it. I am just wondering, weightage to be multiplied with the degree
right,
of differentiation.
right. You are multiplying with this 1 and saying 20.
Okay.
We are multiplying with this 2 and saying it's 40. So since you are going to do regression, this is no basis criteria. This is something which is mathematical. So you just do multiplication of the weightage with the degree and populate your point plan. Got it? And this is a 400 point plan. You can also have a 500 point plan. You can also have a 1000 point plan. Okay?
Okay.
Now, once you have done that, step 4, what do? You have to do job evaluation. That means take a job description. Say, for example, I've taken the one which I'm doing my case study. I have HR team lead. I have a job description. I evaluated the job on these parameters of education, work X, span of control, and creative. Okay. Technical manager. What did I do? I have evaluated the job description based on these parameters. Then what have I done? I need not assign only degree 1 points or degree 2. Depending on the intensity of the job description, what is required for education. Say, for example, we'll take HR manager. So HR manager for education, take anyone. HR manager in education in the job description, it requires, well, let me take a simple one. It requires a post graduation. Okay. So how many points will I give? Quick.
80.
80. So I put 80. Okay. Then I'm also saying that HR manager work has to be, say, maybe if, say, for example, 10 to 15 years, how many points will I give?
80.
80 points. And say, for example, that person is also managing 20 to 30 people, 100. Right? And creativity, I only read at a degree 3 level, which is 105. So what is that? I can actually pick out, as per the job description, the intensity of that compensable factor required. That means which degree it requires, I assign that point value. Not necessary that I go vertically everything. So the advantage of a point plan is I don't have to go like a job grading method. I can assign points. So sometimes what happens in an organization, they can also write the work environment. Then say, for example, production guy, he might get more points because he sits in a very large furnace, etc. But whereas a support guy might sit, so that degree will be just at a low level, and whereas the production guy might get at a high level. Are you with me now?
Yes,
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 ma'am.
yes.
Huh? So what are you assigning? You are assigning the intensity, the level required, and what is the point value? You will assign that. So once you have assigned points for all your 4 compensable factors, then you will total them up and say, hey, this job, the point value is this.
Madam,
Okay.
I have one question.
Mhm.
In this compensable factors, you have considered 4 factors. So
Yeah.
suppose we are, if we are considering maybe 6 or 7 factors, as
Yeah.
you have, as per what
Yeah, seven,
7
maybe 7.
factors. So
Hmm.
in that case, the weightage, how we can decide those weightage? How to put those weightage?
Dhruva, so you won't, who will decide on the compensable factors? It is not an individual, no. All the BU heads, the compensation committee have to come together and decide, hey, these are the key compensable factors which are very important. Then once you have done that, then they will also going by their knowledge, experience of the entire organization, etc. They'll say, hey, this has to be given the highest weightage. So maybe a 30 or 35. So there is nothing like sacrosanct, only 20 or only 25. So they will kind of give that. Then, so but all the 7 should be equal to 100.
Okay, okay, okay.
Hmm? You
Right.
cannot have different weightage, 150. No, weightage means 100.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So we are here. So these are the point values. And this market data I have collected. Okay. Now, once you have got the point value and the market data, now what you need to do here in point value system, point plan system, we are going to do regression. We are going to use a method, statistical tool called regression. Any of you have heard of regression?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So when we use regression, what are we going to calculate? 2 values, slope and intercept. Right now, you just go by the word slope and intercept, but I will also explain what is a slope, what is the intercept. Okay, what does it mean? Now, to calculate slope value, what will you do? So you are now calculating if this is the market salary and this is the point value, what should the company be paying? So which is called a pay line salary. Okay, what should the company be paying at market value? Now, to
So here the
calculate,
point value is the independent variable and market
we are
salary is the
coming, no?
dependable.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, we are coming to that. So, when you do a regression, what does it mean? There are 2 variables. What are those 2 variables? Point value and market data. Point value is an independent variable. What does it mean? That means as the job's content increases, point value will raise. But market salary is the dependent variable, which is Y. Always you have to use dependent variable DV as Y, independent variable IV as X. Okay. So now market salary is dependent on higher the point value, higher the market salary. So it is dependent. So when I say dependent, if you put more fertilizer, the plant will grow more. So here, which is an independent variable? There is fertilizer and there is growth of the plant. Okay. So which is a dependent variable?
Point.
There are 2 variables, right?
Yeah.
When you're doing a regression, there are 2 variables.
Yeah.
One is independent variable and the other is a dependent variable. Now, I want to give a little more clarification on independent and dependent variable. Like, for example, I'm a gardener.
Mhm.
I'm actually putting fertilizer to a plant, right?
Mhm.
So, fertilizer is one variable
Mhm.
and the growth of the plant is another variable.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, here, more the fertilizer I put, maybe the growth of the plant will be better. So
Yes,
which
ma'am.
is an independent variable, the fertilizer or the growth?
Growth.
Huh?
Independent is fertilizer, no?
So dependent variable is always the outcome.
Yeah, that's a growth.
So that's the growth. Cause or effect?
Because the quality of fertilizer can vary, so
Yeah.
it is variable.
So fertilizer is a independent variable.
Independent
And
variable.
the cause. So, I mean, because you might be going tomorrow and then you won't know which is independent, dependent. So, I want to bring clarity in this independent and dependent variable. Are you very clear now? Cause and effect or outcome, output. Output is the dependent variable, right?
Yeah.
Input is the independent variable. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So here when we are doing this, we are actually doing a regression where we have to calculate two values called slope and intercept. Why? You want to calculate, hey, if the HR team lead, which is 220 point values, 20 points, and the market salary is 25,000, what should I be paying? With the help of regression, you can actually then determine what is that you need to pay. Got it? So how will you do that? So just go to, can you see my cursor?
Yeah.
Formula, insert function. Okay.
I think the insert is happening at C11.
Can you see slope? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Then I'll say, okay. Now what can you see? Known wise,
Yeah.
no nexus. That's why it's very, very clear. You don't, if you do it reversal, if you click, if you make your X as Y and Y as X, you will not get proper results. Okay. So Y is dependent
Ma'am,
variable. X is
ma'am,
independent variable. Now, yeah, somebody is wanting, yeah, who, Nitin or Seema? Yeah.
ma'am, calculation. You're doing calculation in C11, like the cell
Yeah,
is.
that's what I said.
Okay. Sorry. I
Yeah,
will
you have
just,
to just do it
thank
down,
you
yeah.
so much. Okay.
Okay,
Wait,
ma'am.
let me just
Yeah.
cancel
Cancel.
everything. That will be
Yeah.
better. Okay. And I will click on here. Okay.
Yeah.
Better. Now I will insert function. It will be better now. Okay. Thank you so much, dear. Slope. Okay. Done. Now known wise, what will I do?
Market salary.
Okay.
Mhm.
D18 to D25. Now known axis. Now I have not given market data for one position purposefully. I'll tell you why. Now click on this and only. Okay. Now what do I do? Okay. So what's your value?
413.
413.5.
If you want, you can actually round it up to 4.6, right? You can also make it as 4.6. Now let us look at intercept. What will I do now? You tell me. All right, known wise. Known axis. And then, okay. So what is the value? Typically intercept comes as minus. So what's the value? 64426 minus no
Yes, ma'am.
0.46. You can actually round it off to 0.5 as well, right? Now,
Yes,
what
ma'am.
is the formula? If you want to calculate the salary of this position, what's the formula? I've written the formula here. What is it?
Y is equal to slope plus intercept.
Slope multiplied by the point value.
Value.
So will the point value be the same for all positions when you are calculating salary for different positions?
No, ma'am, it will be different.
It will change. But the slope value and intercept value are constant. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Or constant. Means it's the same value. They don't change. So if you have noticed what I have done, can you see here in that formula? I have hardwired the slope and intercept and put the point value cell address, right? Point value cell address. So that when you then just drag, you will get your freelance salary. Are you with me, guys?
Ma'am, cannot
Yes.
understand this one. Can you repeat?
Tell me.
Yes, it would be
What
better
did
if
I
you
do
just
now?
repeat this.
I
This
just
why.
use the formula. Okay. See, if you to get 26654, all that I did was, what is the point value of, what is the slope value? I just took it as 4.14, 414. I rounded it off. Okay. Then multiplied by point value. And point value of which one? Cell address C18. Right?
Yes.
Minus 64426. Got it?
4426.
Yeah, I just took
That
that.
is the intercept.
That is the intercept.
Intercept. It's minus, so minus. Otherwise, if it is plus, plus intercept. Okay?
Madam, I could not understand the concept of intercept. Can you just explain a little?
Done. Okay. Because I wanted you all to do this, but I will explain the intercept. Now, when we do regression, these values are there: slope value and intercept value. Okay. Now, say text. See, this is why. This is okay. Or I can say, all right. Is this
Yes,
clear?
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'll just put.
It's clear.
Now, this is X. These are so are these two things clear? If
Yes,
that
ma'am.
is the market X, this is the Y, and this is X. Got it? Okay.
Yeah.
Now I have to do a line. So we are going to do this is the regret. I will show you in the data also. This is my regression line or the best fit line. So when I use the job points and use a market data and regression do a regression, I will get a line like this, which I'll show you now. Okay. Now, what is slope? Slope means this is the slope, the gradient. Okay. Let me also. Slope. We are talking about so if I have another line like this, okay, and maybe. So, and I'm going to give text as this is say A, and this will be B, and this will be C. Okay. So, whose slope will be higher?
A.
A.
A, right?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So essentially, what does the slope mean? That with every increase in one job point, what is the increase in Y which gets calculated through regression? Are you with me?
Yes.
Are you very clear now? With every increase in one job point,
Job point.
what
Is the
is
increase
the
in
increase in the salary data? Y, which gets calculated through that regression analysis. It calculates the slope value for you. Clear? Clear?
Yes.
So
Okay.
higher the job point value, the steeper will be the slope of the market salary.
No, so it depends. It doesn't take just one job point. It takes the entire data into consideration now when you're doing regression, and it gives you a slope value which is constant for all the jobs. Correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now, what is intercept? Intercept, the meaning as per English is that cutting. So if you do this line, if you see, let me make a small circle here around this. Okay. So it cuts this. Okay. Where this line is intersecting. Okay. The value of Y when your job point is 0. Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes.
When your job point is 0, it starts with 0, na? 1 to 100, 100 to 200, 200 to 300. When your job point is 0, what is the value of Y? That is your what? Intercept. Are you very clear about it, guys? Huh? Which is calculated through your through the regression analysis. Can we go back now? Just
Yes.
stop sharing, and I want to go back to that data where I want to show you the best fit line. Where are we? Because we have to do an exercise. So, okay. So, I can also do, no, so I have calculated slope and intercept, but I can also, what am I doing now? I'm selecting both the data. Have I done that? Can you see it? Now go to insert. Now go to chart. Okay. And go to this. Now click on this and add a trend line. And also, if you notice on the format trend line, I'm saying display equation on chart and display R square. Okay. I think I missed out 1 second. Let me again do it. Yeah. Let me again do it. Okay. Okay.
Ma'am, you're missing again on one, ma'am.
I'm missing on one, right? Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Just put your cursor
One
on
second.
220 and try again.
Yeah. Okay. Now I think I
Yes,
will
ma'am.
be able to insert. Okay. Okay. Because that was not correct. And I said, how come? All right. Okay. Add
Yes,
trend
ma'am.
lines.
Yes, ma'am.
Display equation on
Equation on
chart and
chart.
display R square.
R
All
square.
right.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So I will drag it here. Can you see that the value Y is equal to slope multiplied by point value, okay, minus intercept. Can you see this? Or should I make it bigger? Are you able to see my? It's
Yes,
the
ma'am.
same value which you got when you calculated slope and intercept separately. No? 413.57 multiplied by X, which is the point value, minus intercept. Okay? That will give you the pay line salary. Now, the most important thing when you do this graph, why you should do graph, is to check what is the R square. What is R square? It is regression. Coefficient of determination, it is also called. R square is the regression value. Now, what is the regression value here? 99%. That means R square can be maximum 1. 99% means that your salary is 99 dependent on point value, only 1% on other things. So typically when you do this regression and when you want to predict salaries, your R square should be anywhere between 85 to 100. So 85 and more. But if it is less than 85, that means that in your job evaluation, there are other factors which are contributing to the market salary. Got it? So this R square is very, very important. Now, R square can be done in many other ways, which I don't want to tell you now, because there is something like, quickly out. Okay. I want you all to know, do this exercise so that I'm there to guide you as well. Now, anybody who can share the screen with all these job descriptions which Wilma has sent for a manufacturing organization. So if you notice, she has sent you about how many job descriptions? I think there are about 13
5.
or 14. Huh?
5 JD.
No. Under 5 business heads, under project, under HR. There are further, yeah. Can you just show me project management as project manager, project lead, right? Huh?
Yeah.
Project engineer. And yeah.
That's it,
And
4.
then next, can you show me some more? Then you have HR. I think there is HR also, right?
Yeah. Finance is there.
Finance is there. Can you show me finance?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, please, I want you to hear this out, because if you do it here, then I'll be able to guide you. All you need to know. So this is a manufacturing organization, and you have positions, like say, for example, a project manager, you have service delivery leader, and there are other positions. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is identify. You will be put into 2 groups. Each group has to identify only 4 compensable factors. How many?
4.
I want you to identify 4 compensable factors only. Okay? 4. For this organization, which has about, I think, 20 JDs, right? There are 20 JDs. Now, you are doing a point plan. So, you have to only do what 4 degrees. Don't go into 5, 6 and all. So 4 compensable factors, degree 1, degree 2, degree 3, and degree 4. That's all. Okay. You can actually take a click of this picture as well so that you don't forget. That's it. Okay. Step 1, this one, step 2, degrees 4. Then do the weightages. Then write the descriptors. Okay. Take simple compensable factors like, say, education, experience, span of control. They're easy. All right. Now, only for 10 positions, because if you have to do regression, you have to have at least 10 positions. So only for 10 positions, I want you to calculate point values. How will you calculate point values? By writing the descriptors and looking at those job descriptions. Now, don't take just only one vertical and do all those positions. No. Pick 1 or 2 from here, pick another. Between 8 and 10, I'll leave it to you. But I'm going to put a time limit also. It's now 4:30 and you have to finish the entire thing in 40 minutes. Okay. So you pick between 8 to 10 positions, write the descriptors, calculate point value, and market data. You can give a ballpark market data, because all of you are working in organizations. I'm not so considerate about accuracy of data here right now. Okay. So you can give your own market data. And then I want you to calculate salaries. That is the pay line salary for the 8 positions or 10 positions. Got it, guys? How? By calculating slope and intercept and using that formula. You can go 4 compensable factors. All right. Okay. I was going through here. So you have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 positions, is it?
Yes, right.
Okay. 7 positions. You can done. Okay. Then you calculated point values, right?
Right, right.
Okay. And then you looked at market salary, and then you
It's a
calculated slope.
hypothetically we have put.
Yeah, no problem. I
Don't have
wanted
any
you to
record.
learn the. Then you calculated point where slope and intercept.
Yes.
Okay.
And based on which we have
Now, calculating slope and intercept, you have calculated the pay line salary,
Yes.
right? For every position.
Right.
Okay. Now, when you're doing this, I hope the others are also there so that I can just show. Normally, what happens in an organization, you have 50 positions, 60 positions, okay, where you can get benchmark data. But you are still having 5% of positions or 3% of positions. You have calculated point value, but you are not getting market data because those positions are unique. Are you with me,
Yes.
guys?
Yes.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then what will you do? Seema?
Probably we'll look at difference in the point value in terms of 100 and 180, and based on that, probably we'll put
No. Yeah. So that is where the statistical regression model helps you, because
Okay.
when you do regression, it is called predicting. It predicts your salary. Are you with me?
Yeah.
It predicts your salary. So you're
Mhm.
not doing it manually, iterating it. It predicts your salary. So when
Mhm.
you don't have data, market data, we will do it here itself. Say, for example, I don't have market data for two positions, say 240 points, for the 400, 1750. You can, then what will I do? I have the value for slope and intercept. So what I will be doing, calculating pay line, I only need value of slope and intercept. I don't need market data. I need market data to calculate slope and intercept. So most of the organisms, Mercer, Hewitt, because there are unique positions which are very, very specific to that organization. So how will
Yeah.
you calculate then? So using slope and intercept. That's why, normally when you have a big range, say you are doing 10 positions, 15 positions, 20 positions, I make them do then don't calculate market data for 2 or 3 or 5 positions. You can still calculate your pay line salary by just using the slope and intercept value, which I said does not change for position to position. It is constant. Got it? Because when
Yeah.
you're doing a regression, it is not taking just one position data, two position. If you notice here, please notice here, it is taking the entire range of that position's market data. That's why even if market salary is 25,000, it is saying you pay, sorry, you pay, can you, I think, can you just enlarge your screen? Yeah, become small, I think. Now I can see. So it is saying pay 14,000, which is lesser. Why? It takes into consideration what the entire data and then predicts what is best for you. Are you with me, guys? So if you see this, if you see the graph here, the best fit line, if you also plot a graph between point value and your own pay line, it will give you a straight line. That means all your positions can be on that straight line. Got it? The tighter it is, the closer it is, you will see, I explained to you in both the rooms, I think, if your
Yes.
R square is 60%, that means your market data is still spread. That means somewhere your market data may not be accurate, or you have to go back to the drawing boards and check. Okay. There are other factors maybe. So now having done this, now when you are doing a pay line for factory HR executive, it can't be just absolute. So you have to create a range. For low level jobs, you can have a plus minus 5% or a plus minus 10%. For a little middle level job, 15%, and then higher job, 20%. So that's how you create a range around them. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh? So can I
Yes, ma'am.
see the other groups working
Yeah.
also? The final one? Yeah. If you can. Sorry. Yeah. Great. Okay. Yes, you have taken these four compensable factors. Then you have calculated point values. Then this is your market data. Then if you notice, it is almost 88%. Yeah, your market data is R square is 88%. So it's a good, I mean, the R square indicates a good fit. Okay. Only 12% are other factors which are impacting. Hmm? And your pay line salary 17, 40, 64, 68, 93, 116, and 123. All right. Now, if you have to create a range, you are adding plus 5, plus minus 5%, plus minus 10%. So 5, 10%, and 20%. You can do that. Now, having said that, my last learning for you guys. When organizations are using point plan, you pay salary in the point method, but yet you have to pay benefits, etc. So ultimately, you also have to then put them into grades. So how will you do the grades? So when you use a point method, so what do we do? Here it's a very small sample of just 6 or 7 positions, right? So typically, your organization has about 15 to 20 positions or 30 positions. So how do you
Yeah.
grade them? You take the lowest, the job with the lowest point value and the highest point value. So just within this data, how do you make grades? So 120 to 400, the range is so much. So 120 to 180, I'll say cutoff of 50 points or maybe 80 points. And I will see what kind of jobs are falling in between that 120 to 180. I will also look at special care to be taken at the cutoff of 180. Is this job, can I see that job? Analyst, what is it? Can I just see the, what?
Sorry.
Quality analyst, right? Okay. This job, hey, is it almost like a supervisory job, or it's also falling into a factory HR executive looking at this JD, etc.? So I'll say 1 to 180, grade 1. 182, maybe I will say 245. I'll increase 60 points or 80 points. It's a mechanical iterative process. I will say, because higher you go in the grades, you will have to increase the number of points. So typically at a lower level, the cutoff will be just 50 points. Then I can have 100 points. Then I can have 150 or 200 points. So that's how you make them into grades. Okay. So here 120 to 180, the difference is only 160. And these two jobs are grade 1. 180 to maybe 245 or 250, then there'll be 3 jobs, grade 2. Then 255 to 320 or 380, then there'll be 3 jobs. From 380 to 400, I will say grade 4. Okay. But definitely I need to take into consideration, especially at the cutoff stage, at the higher level, that what kind of a job am I incorporating? Should that job be at a lower level, lower grade, or at a higher grade? Is that understood, guys?
Yes, Samit.
Can there be an overlap of a value, like just to give an idea? Suppose we're talking about 120 to 180, just a hypothetical one. So next grade can be like 150 to 240 or something like that, or it has to be starting after 180 only.
A simple logic I'll give you here. Every point is money.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously, if you have evaluated and come to a conclusion of this is the points, okay, that means so they cannot be an overlap, because that means you are incorporating a job which is of a lower level to higher level.
Got
Correct?
it. Got it.
Yeah, especially. So typically organizations who follow point plan, they pay by point plan, and then they do all the benefits as per the grade system.
Great system.
Okay. So thereby there is much more objectivity in terms of paying, because you are paying for the job. Because how you have actually evaluated the worth of the job, and he gets paid for that. Okay. Any questions, guys? I know
No,
it's a lot, but what I would ask you, if you have any questions, etc., and if you need further some kind of write-ups, just put me a note and I will send it across to you. Okay? Go
Great.
back, think about it. But the best thing is to go through it right away or little later, because otherwise you'll forget what have we done, etc. Please circulate. This has been done as a group. You can circulate it to all your team members. Okay, go through it very well. What you have done, you've done a very good job. Both the groups have done a very good job. Because it is not easy to learn a point method in such a short time. And definitely people who have not even been what is it familiar with compensation terms, technology, very difficult to understand in such a short span of time. Okay, so guys, I think good work. So I will leave you with this.